All right, welcome to Straight to the Heart with Eric Earhart. We got another great episode for you guys, and today, look, y'all know I have been pounding the issue of the Gen Z revival that's happening. For 3 years, I've been prophesying this because I've been watching it, and we've been seeing in the polling data, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, a lot of their polling data has been showing that young men have been shifting hard conservative. In fact, it's freaking the Democratic Party out right now. But I believe this is not political. I believe it's spiritual. I believe the political parties are only seeing the spiritual manifestation of something that God is doing in the hearts of young people. We saw it back in 1969, 70, 71, when it was called the Jesus Revolution. All the long-haired hippies were coming to Jesus, and the people didn't know what to do about it. New York Times didn't know what to do about it. The church was scared to death of it because the church always seems to be scared of young people and change. But I'm excited what God is doing. And today we have William Smith. And Billy has been, I've been his pastor since he was 5 years old. And Billy's been an exceptional young man with a neat journey, a beautiful family. And so we're excited to have him here today because, Billy, you're leaving for boot camp, naval boot camp, when?
In 16 hours.
16 hours. Dude. All right, so look, before we get into who you are and your story and your background, man, the first thing that comes to my mind, because I was watching this morning, I watched a video of naval boot camp. And I got a little teary-eyed thinking about you. I remember that little, you had a mohawk. You were 5 years old, you had a mohawk.
I did.
And your mom and you and the kids, she brought you kids to church. Your dad was deployed in the Navy. Your dad was deployed and your mom brought you to church. And Shari and I invited her over to come to a cookout at our house because we just wanted to get to know her and see how we could support her. And dude, you were such a neat kid back then. Such a neat kid back then. That mohawk and your just wide open personality. Great athlete. And but I got a little teary-eyed this morning thinking about you serving, following your father's footsteps. So this is my question. We'll just start everything off with this. What's the thing that's got you most excited, and what's the thing that's got you most nervous about your journey ahead in the United States Navy?
Excited, I don't have to worry about anything in my future. I'll have plenty of options after school.
Oh, wow, I wouldn't think of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the school. I'm not a big fan of school. Never have been. So.
Yeah, you're more of a hands-on guy, athlete, mechanic. Yeah, so you just have so many skills, but so classroom school, I guess, is what you mean.
A school and power school, yeah.
Yeah. So classroom school just makes you a little nervous because it's just not your thing. I love what you said. That you're excited because you're investing in your future. That's what you do. That's what it is, an investment in your future, right?
Right.
It's like a man goes and puts money in the bank, and he expects that money in the bank to give him a return over time for his future. This is an investment you're making in yourself for your future.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's good thinking. That's wise. All right, so how'd you get here? Tell me about your journey of how you came to the place of you thought the Navy was right for you. So your dad, one of my heroes, served 22 years, I think, in the Navy. Is that correct?
22 or 23, one of the two.
Yeah, 23 years, I think, somewhere around there. Ended up as a Warrant Officer 3, I believe. Just a great, amazing career. He's got fruit salad for days, right? What they call fruit salad. Your dad's got this amazing rack of ribbons from a distinguished career. So that's in your background. But what was your journey to making this decision and saying, I want to go in the Navy, I'm going to do this?
That's a good question. It was kind of just I'd like to leave this small town. The small town's not big enough, and best way to do that was I saw to go military. And when I made a pretty good score on my ASVAB, I decided that I'd go nuclear. Nuclear would give me a good career after the Navy, so I don't have to be in the Navy the whole time.
Okay. Yeah. You're a little understated there on your good score on the ASVAB. You crushed that thing. Yeah. So you say you don't like school, but obviously you're extremely gifted. So I think maybe it's just attitude towards school.
And patience.
Patience. Well, I think the Navy has some people that'll help you with that.
I think so too.
You think so?
I think I'm getting ready to meet them.
So why the Navy?
I don't know why the Navy. Originally I was going to do Air Force, but looking over most of the jobs that I scored well on the ASVAB, so I was looking at the jobs that were kind of higher ASVAB scores, you know.
Yes.
All of those were just jobs that you work in Colorado and work out of Colorado.
Yeah,
and
NORAD type jobs.
They won't do much traveling, won't get to see anything.
And that didn't appeal to you? You were like, nah.
Office jobs, it's just not. I'd rather be hands-on.
Yeah. So when I was watching the boot camp video, so all my life I grew up on the ocean until coming here. My whole life was either I never lived more than a mile from the beach. My family, my family were harvesters of the sea, commercial fishermen, fourth generation. I went to sea the first time. When I say sea, I was like 3 years old, and my dad allowed me to get on a scallop boat, and we went about 2 miles, taking the boat to railway to get it up, and had the bottom scraped and painted. And then at 5 years old, I was allowed to go actually out with them on a trip, scallop boat trip, and so the ocean has always been just in my blood, we'll say. So I was watching this video of Naval Boot Camp, right? And I guess I kind of forgot it's the Navy. And I don't know if you've watched any videos of the Naval Boot Camp, but I think I got emotional thinking about you being trained to fight fires at sea, and you know what I mean? You're being trained to be a sailor.
Right.
And I guess I don't know why it didn't dawn on me. It's the Navy, right? Because I was thinking nuclear.
Right.
Right? But then it was like just so cool watching that video of, how to lash a ship, how to fight a fire on a ship. Because I've been at sea on a boat. I've been on 2 boats that went down. One, the electrical panel burned up, and we lost our bilge pumps. And another one, the rigging came down. And anyway, so that's real to me to be out there and to think we're going to die out here, right? Because you ain't got nothing but that boat, baby. You're
right.
Like, you know what I mean? So watching that training, I was thinking, oh wow, that's the just all of it. So I know you're going in a particular field of naval service, but have you thought about the idea that you might end up on sea duty? Like you actually might end up at sea?
Well, I will end up at sea. I'm what powers and moves the boat, so I have to be at sea. I'll be on the aircraft carrier.
Oh wow! Oh, yeah. It's because you're going to be doing propulsion,
right? Nuclear
propulsion,
right?
So you have no choice. You're going to sea.
I'm going to sea.
You're going to sea. So what's your thoughts about that? That's kind of crazy, ain't it?
I'm not too worried about it.
You're not worried about it? So you're not like worried about being over in the Gulf with the Houthis and all the world that we're in? No. All right, praise the Lord. Well, I'm glad we have brave young men and women like you that's willing to go do that. Because the Navy's going to wherever it's going on, the Navy's heading there, right?
Right.
They're packing up and they're heading there because they are kind of they're the arm of American diplomacy.
They say the biggest air force is America's United States Air Force, and the second biggest is the Navy.
United States Navy, right? So. Yeah, I think the next biggest air force in the world is like our U.S. Navy's air wing is 6 times bigger than the next biggest air force in the world. That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's insane. I think that one aircraft carrier carries as many fighter jets as the average first world country's air force.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty insane. Yeah, so extremely intimidating, a great diplomatic tool for the United States government. But when something happens, aircraft carriers come rolling into town.
Right.
Right? And it says, hey, Uncle Sam just showed up. Right? So we've had 5 young men from the church since last November join the military. Like how much of a deep, like was there any agony? Was there any like I gotta pray about this, or was it just something inside you said, nope, this is my calling. This is where I'm going.
It's time to do it.
Yeah.
Told my mom on Sunday. I think something's telling me to go Navy. Monday I went to my recruiter.
Yeah. So what was your parents' reaction to this news?
Dad's proud, mom's proud.
Yeah.
They're both proud. Mom obviously doesn't want me to go, but
yeah, no mom wants their kid to go.
right. But
Yeah.
no, they think it's good for me.
Yeah. So they're imagine pretty excited.
I don't know if excited is the word. Dad probably
Excited ain't the word. Proud. We'll just stay
Proud.
with proud. They're proud. They're proud that you're going.
That's right.
Dude. Okay. All right. So your generation, as I started off with, is really experiencing a revival. And it's so powerful that the political parties in America are spending millions of dollars to examine you guys, right? Because y'all are the next generation of voters, right? So they're like spending millions of dollars to watch your trends, and I think there's a lot of memes online right now about how the Democratic Party is spending really hundreds of millions of dollars right now trying to find an influencer like a Joe Rogan type guy, a Theo Vaughn type guy, to reach young men.
Right.
What and I know you can really you speak for yourself, but what's been your observation for your generation of young men coming through high school, graduating? Where do you think you see your generation at emotionally, spiritually, particularly the young men, as far as kind of their view of life? What have you been sensing?
A lot of my people I've gone to school with since I was in kindergarten have all been like very strong America's best, and they're all very strong-minded, hard-headed young men. I mean, that's how at least all the kids in my grade were.
Right. Yeah. And do you think that has anything to do with where we are, kind of rural America, being so patriotic like that?
It could be.
What do you think was driving that?
Could be either that or parents. Parents could definitely play a big role, or maybe because we're an hour from the biggest naval base in the world.
Yeah. Right.
I don't really know.
Right. So in your experience in Gates County Public Schools, did it feel like it was pro-American? Did it feel like it was patriotic, flag waving, or looking back? How did the school system either contribute to that, or did it not contribute to this sense of pride in our nation and a sense of wanting to serve?
I feel like it was more respected than it was pride. I mean, they did their respects, but it wasn't anything extra. They didn't go any further than that.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't even know. I mean, I remember growing up and we did the Pledge of Allegiance every day. Did y'all do that in school?
Every day.
They still did the Pledge of Allegiance? Cool. Okay. So at least some level of respect.
Right.
Towards the country. Yeah. Neat. So any of your other friends besides the guys, here at the church that have joined? Have you seen anybody else signing up?
No, not really. None of my buddies have. One of my buddies was going Marines, frontline infantry. But that's about it. Okay.
So what are they saying to you about it? What's the feedback you're getting about your decision?
They're all proud of me. They say they're gonna visit me when I get done with boot camp, when I get done with school.
Right.
So it was a good choice.
Did anybody look at you and go, "Oh, we knew that you were gonna"? I mean, did anybody feel like this was going to be a natural path for you?
A few of my buddies thought like, yeah, I need to get out of here.
Okay.
It's not big enough.
Right.
Gates County isn't big enough.
Yeah. So yeah, your calling, your whatever we would call anointing in Christian circles, on your life was bigger than the town you lived in, so to speak.
Right.
Right. And it's a classic story of the kid that's got to go to the big lights, right? Los Angeles or Hollywood, New York, wherever. But there's this idea, and there's something inside of you is saying that what my life is going to lead to is just bigger than where I'm at.
Right.
And I've got to move on. Yeah. So how about your spiritual journey along this? What has been your spiritual journey, and how has that coincided with this journey towards this decision to commit? I think you got to do 6 years of active duty, right? With this MOS?
2 years of school, four active.
Okay, so yeah, but all together. So you'll be in training for 2 years, and then you have to do 4 years in the fleet with this MOS you've chosen. Yeah. So what has been your spiritual journey, say through high school? Where Where did your journey with God go, and where do you think He's brought you to now?
I don't know. I think I got more sidetracked, self-centered during high school and everything, and now it's time to go do something bigger than me.
Yeah, that's kind of classic, isn't it? Though you get in teenage years, and life gets fun,
Right.
and you kind of hear this classic story. Well, I drifted away for a while, and so where would you say you're at in your walk now with the Lord, and what do you feel like that He's doing in your life?
I don't know. I think I'm more of on the coming back trail and the start doing what feels right instead of what I want.
Mm-hmm. So trying to listen more to your conscience, try to listen more to what you feel like the Holy Spirit's saying. Yeah. So are you? Do you have anybody? Because I know your mom and dad do, but do you have anybody that you kind of? Do you have someone that you feel like is on the same spiritual journey that you are, that you guys are like iron sharpen iron? Do you have anybody in your life like that right now?
I don't think so.
Really? Wow. So that would be a prayer that we'll pray for you, because you got to have a partner. Like, you got to have someone that challenges you to be better. You know what I mean? And but you end up doing the same thing for them. It's that give and take. It's that iron sharpening iron. In fact, our son's away at boot camp right now, and one of our big prayers has been, God, provide him someone that spiritually can kind of be that iron sharpen iron for him, right?
Right.
To provide that encouragement for him. And so far, he's not found that. And I know that he'd like to have that, even though they're seeing some neat things happening there. In fact, this week, there was, I think there was like probably a dozen people from his unit that got baptized this week there at the chapel with the chaplain. So definitely some neat stuff going on there. So, are you still pretty physically fit from? I know you played high school football.
Yeah, I think I'll pass my purity.
Yeah, so you don't feel intimidated by the physical side of boot camp
Or the mental.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not too worried about boot camp. I don't think it'll be as bad as people make it seem.
I don't think so either after watching it.
And soft-minded people struggle at boot camp.
Right. Well, but maybe, because listen to what you said a minute ago about school, because academic is not a problem for you either.
Right.
It's more attitude problem, right? So maybe the real issue of boot camp is going to be having people yell at you and tell you what to do.
I grew up. You met my dad. All right. I'll be all right.
I met your dad. Yeah, I met your dad. In fact, one of the first times that I met him, he invited me to lunch at Oceana. So I drove out there to meet him for lunch. He was on duty. We were going to meet at the PX for BX or whatever they call it there for lunch, right? Like a little mall they have on base. And we get there, and we walked over to, I think it was Christmas time or something. We walked over to like the little shopette, or it's like a little tiny Walmart they have on base, right? And we're over there, and all I was 3 aisles away from him, and I hear this big booming voice and say, "Pastor, come here, I got something for you," right? And I walk over to that aisle, and he goes, "Here, you forgot your tampons." And he throws me this box of tampons. I said, "Well, thank you there." And I decided, if you're going to be this big and loud and embarrass me, I'm going to do the same. So I got just as loud as he did, and we were 2 high school kids, and yeah, your dad is a hilarious guy with a huge personality who loves the Lord, and just fun as all get out. So you feel like you've already had your drill instructor, and you're kind of ready for this.
I don't think people yelling at me is going to bother me too bad.
Yeah.
I think I can handle it.
Just kind of shut your mouth, do what you're told. Yeah, I think what do they call it, gray man, where you just kind of disappear into the crowd, and not draw attention to yourself. And
That's not typically me, but we're gonna try for it.
yeah, that's not you. That's not your personality. No, William Smith always attracts attention wherever he goes. So that's going to be interesting to see. Is it positive attention or negative
We'll
attention?
come back with a lot bigger chest.
Yeah, it'd be interesting what kind of attention you draw to yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right? I think one of the big things that the military is going to be looking for is that intangible thing called leadership. Right. So what do you think leadership qualities are for you? What do you see as some good leadership qualities that you would like to develop?
That I'd like to develop. I would have to be more understanding, more patient to be a better leader. Patient.
In what areas?
Just patience in general. Patience with people that lack common sense can sometimes be a struggle for me. If somebody is just outright not understanding it, I don't typically have too much patience for them. Younger kids, I don't typically have too much patience for them. It's just not something that I have. I can get along with people. I can look out for people. I can handle that part of leadership, but that patience part, it's the part that gets me. That's probably the part that's going to get me in boot camp, too.
Okay. So there's an old saying, you don't suffer fools gladly. There's an old saying, and that's what it is people that just can't put up with foolish people.
Right.
Right? Just have no space for them, no mental capacity to put up with them. You might run into some of those people there at boot camp.
We'll run into a lot of them. A lot of them.
And literally people who don't know their left from their right.
I know.
Right.
I went to, we have our meetings before, like all the people that are shipping out for boot camp, and you get there's 20 or 30 guys there. They're all lacking a little bit of something. Even like the smartest nuclear techs that are there are just lacking in common sense. And then we do practice PRTs, and me and one other guy are the only ones that are passing them. Like, it's going to be a work of patience at boot camp. That's what it'll be. That's the only thing that's going to get me is patience. Patience. So
what was this like a program to take the recruits and just kind of get you?
It's required. It's DEP program. I don't know what DEP stands for, but it's the kids that already have their ship out date, already been to MEPS, already signed their contract. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to meet the first Thursday of every month before they leave. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and it's just probably just trying to prep you, get you ready. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Do you feel like it helped?
No, I think it was supposed to help, but I don't know. I think it gets to be too many people where you can't really help as much as you should be able to.
Okay.
I think the last meeting, the 7-day one, where they go over everything that you're gonna need, everything that you're gonna use, I think that's a good meeting. But other than that, I don't see why. Driving to Suffolk, Navy's not paying me yet.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I don't really want to be here. So. Well, Shari and I plan on, Lord willing, we're going to fly out the Great Lakes and hopefully be there for your graduation. Looking forward to that. I love the old Navy Cracker Jack suit.
That's what I'll be in.
That's just classic. I hope they never get rid of that.
That's what I'll be in.
That's Navy, right?
Right.
I mean, when you see that says those whites with the old Cracker Jack hat. I mean, that says United States Navy.
Yeah.
It's super historic, super cool. And watching that was a little emotional, kind of watching that graduation, the guys coming out there marching in that. So when you get done with that, will you get a break to spend some time with your family, or will you go right to your A school?
I'll get a day in Chicago. Sunday I'll fly to my A school, and I got 3 months of A school, then 6 months of power school, and then 6 months of prototype.
You get a day with your family, that's it?
In Chicago.
And
then they got to bring me back.
And then you head out. Okay, wow. And so then the next schooling's 3 months.
I don't know for sure if I get a break after that, but I know I can't take any leave during school.
Right, yeah. Because it's kind of like boot camp. It's a mandatory training time. Right, yeah. So, and so that'll be 3 months, and then you go on to another school after that?
6 month school, power school.
Another 6 month school.
So I believe my A school is going to be like, it's either going to be 3 or 6 months depending upon what I choose, but I plan on going Machinist Mate nuclear. So my first A school is going to be like mechanic school, 3 months of mechanic school essentially. Yep. And then I'll have a break, and then I'll go to power school, which deals nuclear. And then my next 6-month school is prototype, which I'm just working on a live nuclear reactor.
Right.
Making sure I'm ready to man and power an aircraft carrier.
Yes. Wow, that's going to be crazy. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. So, of course, you think about all the old movies of the guys down in the hold of the ship, like shoveling the coal into the steam engine and getting that ship turning and going. It's just a modern version of that.
Right.
Literally propelling that ship with nuclear power. Yeah, that's crazy. In fact, my uncle, my dad's middle brother, was on the Navy's first nuclear-powered ship during the Korean War. And I can't recall the name of it. But I found, because when he died, he had no living heirs. Right. He had never had any children. He had served in the Navy in the Korean War, got out after he did his enlistment, joined the Air Force, and then ended up having a whole career in the Air Force and retiring in the early 1970s. But anyway, so when he passed away, he had no living heirs, so I got this box in the mail of all his belongings, right? And I found a bunch of documents from the military. And he was on the first nuclear-powered ship in the U.S. Navy. I thought that was super cool.
In the world, America's...
In the world, exactly. I didn't even think about it. Oh, wow.
America's the only people with aircraft carriers.
I didn't even think about that. It would have been the first nuclear-powered ship in the world.
Russia has one, but they can't seem to get it right. We're the only ones that have.
Yeah, and they've had several meltdown. And, yeah. Wow. Yeah, so that's crazy. And for those watching, and they may have grown up with the whole nuclear's bad, and 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl and blah blah blah. Like we had this anti-nuclear movement in our country from the 1970s until recently. Probably still is, right? But the truth is, nuclear power is the safest, most efficient power. And it's green energy. This is what's crazy. It's green energy, right?
Right.
It's the safest, most efficient power source that we have. And we're robbing ourselves. Thankfully, the United States Navy kind of just ignored that, right? And they have continued to power themselves with nuclear because we stopped building reactors in America. But I believe there's going to be a resurgence. I think common sense is going to win out. And we're going to see a resurgence of nuclear power in our nation. Right. I hope so anyway. Because the solar and the wind and all that may sound good.
It's expensive.
It's not renewable. They call it renewable, but it's not. All the things they build, all the solar panels, all the windmills, those things, when they're not recyclable.
Right.
When they're worn out, that's it. They have to go to a landfill. They're not recyclable in any way, right? In fact, I heard that Bill Gates, is getting ready to bring 3 Mile Island there in Pennsylvania. He's getting ready to bring one of those reactors back online to provide enough electricity to make chips here in America, to make silicon chips here in America. Because we don't even make them anymore. China makes them all. Because they have nuclear power, right? It's like, yeah. So hopefully your generation, people like you, will be part of that common sense solution to providing power for our nation and taking us into the farther into the 21st century. So how did the Navy recruit you for this, or did you ask for it? How did that work?
I asked for it. I walked into the recruiter office.
Really? And you had already researched it?
What, the job I was going to do?
Yeah.
No, I just went.
So tell me about that conversation. How'd that go with the recruiter?
I just went to the recruiter. I told them that I wanted to join. They said they could give me a test. They gave me a PICAT, which is a mock. Oh, it's not a mock. I mean, it counts as your ASVAB.
Yeah.
So PICAT you can take at your recruiter's office instead of taking the ASVAB at MEPS, and then you just take a 20-question test when you get to MEPS to make sure you didn't cheat on your PICAT.
Right.
And I took my PICAT. They told me I could have any job I wanted, and I told them that I want something it's going to be a good career after the Navy and be hands-on and mechanical. And then he told me nuclear would be probably the best way to go.
So that was your criteria. I want something I'm actually working.
Right.
Hands-on.
Hands-on.
Because you love doing mechanic work and building hot rods and stuff like that.
I didn't want to be next to every other sailor that's just scored a 30 on their ASVAB.
You didn't want to sit at a control panel, or
Right.
you didn't want to be in the mess hall serving food.
Right.
Right. So Machinist Mate sounds right up your alley.
And he told me I got an 84 or something on my ASVAB, and he told me I was proud.
Yeah, that's like that puts you in the top 5% of Americans.
Yeah.
For ASVAB score.
And he told me that if I was Bravo qualified for nuclear, so that means I had to take a NAPT. It's a nuclear test. Mm-hmm. And I passed that, and that's when I signed my contract.
Yeah. You crushed it. Yeah. So he came up with that idea. He thought, okay, this will fit you.
He gave me a couple different options, and that was my favorite.
What were some of the other options?
Regular machinist mate, aircraft.
Did he describe that? What does a regular machinist mate do in the Navy? Do you know?
It's just regular. I'm not regular.
It's just regular.
There's a few options, and then there's like an aircraft mechanic and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I wanted to do something. I had to
do
the best.
What was your dad's career? What did he do? Remind me what he did.
AO.
What?
AO. Aviation Ordnance.
Aviation Ordnance. So he actually worked on the weaponry.
Right. For aircrafts.
Yeah, because I remember I did a tour. I think you guys were kids. We went up and did a tour one time on the aircraft carrier, and he showed us the AO shop, and they had like these 20 millimeter cannons they were rebuilding, and some other things that they had there in the shop. Yeah, so he had a hands-on career early on until you hit a certain rank, then you're just a manager.
Right.
I mean, let's just put it where it is. You're middle management, right? You're like the manager of a 7-Eleven. You're running to people that don't know their left from their right, right?
Right.
So when he became a manager, but his early career would have been hands-on with the ordnance, with weaponry. Right. So you wanted something similar where you're going to actually be doing stuff.
I wouldn't say similar. Dad was. I don't think Dad did much mechanical work or anything like that. Like I wanted something that was going to test my brain every day.
Gotcha.
Grow me more as not something that I could get done. Just go home, something that's going to be better.
So I picture a nuclear tech in the Navy. Like I kind of picture you guys at a control panel, like really just pushing buttons because all this is so dangerous and so digital, right?
There's the Machinist Mate nuclear, then you have that's like an electrical technician nuclear, and then you have a circuit board technician nuclear. So there's two other options going in the nuclear field that deal with working on either electrical issues or working the circuit board. But that's
no.
I want a mechanics.
No.
I could see.
I'm going to actually fix the reactor here.
Right. That's what I want.
Dude, it seems a little intimidating, a little scary. That doesn't scare you?
I already signed my contract. Being scared ain't gonna make me smarter.
Okay. All right. Look, yeah. Everybody's got God's got something for everybody. He knows the lane he needs us in. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind rebuilding a carburetor, but I don't know that I want to be messing with no nuclear reactor. I'm like, nah, don't let Eric Earhart over there. I'm duct tape and yeah.
I don't think. I think with the schooling they give you, it's pretty.
For sure.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. I would imagine you're going to be well trained, like high level.
They tell you it's about 40 to 80 hours a week.
Wow.
Study time in the classroom. All the material's top secret. You can't bring it home.
Wow. So you said you're kind of picking this because it's going to set you up for your future. Have you done any research? Like, do people get hired in the civilian world right out of this Navy field?
Yeah, and they average right under. It's like 180,000 a year average right out of nuclear school.
Wow.
That's why the Navy offers you a star reenlistment bonus. So if I were to add 2 years onto my contract after my 2 years of school, just put 2 more active duty years, they'll give me another $100,000 for a bonus.
Did you get any bonus for signing up for this?
I did. I got $75,000.
75, and they'll bump it up to 100 if you had 2 years?
No, they'll give me another.
They'll give another 100
if
you give them another 2 years?
After school. That's
and
how,
you'll be at E5 when you finish school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's just what they just try to do whatever they can to keep people in because they know how much better you can do on the outside world.
For sure, and they can't really compete.
Right.
So they're hoping your patriotic pride, your naval pride, and a little money will keep you in there. I mean, think about this. They've got such an investment in you, and they can't really afford to lose you, right? So what about naval officers in the nuclear field? What's the process to become an officer in this field?
Well, you can go stage 21. So after you get done with your school, if you follow the pipeline, then you could put in for an application to go to college and go that route. And then after your nuclear school, you would go to whatever college, study whatever you want, and then after that, you come out and you be an officer in the nuclear field.
So they would just kind of require a minimum of like a bachelor's degree, but you're training in the nuclear school.
You still have to do that, I believe.
Okay.
I believe you still I've thought about it. I'm gonna see what the contracts look like if I go that route. If I take the officer route, I'd go to state and just finish up because I'll have over half my school done for my nuclear engineering degree.
And I would imagine you get a whole lot of college credits for that too.
There's a lot of college credits for
You're going to get a whole lot of college credits for that because there's going to be lots of math, lots of mechanical engineering. That's
right.
So basically, you're going to be getting an engineer degree.
Right. So if I wanted to do if I wanted to get my nuclear engineering degree after, I would only have to do like another year and a half of school.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Bachelor's. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so now your dad was a warrant officer in the Navy.
So that's an enlisted officer.
What's that?
That's an enlisted officer.
An enlisted officer?
So he just climbed his way to the top.
Yeah. So is that an option in the nuclear field?
I believe so. I believe you can climb your way to the top, like as a master chief or a senior chief or whatever, or chief petty officer. But they said that the rates in nuclear don't really apply too much. So like if you're an E4 or an E5, you're not really... One's not really above the other. One just signed the re-enlistment bonus. One didn't.
Yeah. So. Well, and it's probably just the nature of it. It's not it's not in the Army. It's not like in the Marine Corps. It's not like you got privates running around.
Right.
All of y'all have to have the same schooling.
Yep. Everybody goes to boot camp as an E3.
Right. And you have to finish the same amount of training to even be there working on this stuff.
Right.
So though it's a military and there has to be a rank structure, probably rank doesn't play in as much.
No, it doesn't.
In that field like that.
Everybody has the same amount of school. It's just the amount of years of service.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, because hopefully you've weeded out the knuckleheads and you're not having a bunch of idiots in there working on a nuclear reactor, right? You don't want to see the USS George Washington melt down out of the sea. Right? Yeah, that's crazy. But this is completely distinct and separate from nuclear weapons.
Right, completely. You have nuclear warfare and nuclear propulsion.
Okay. And it's not even the same kind of schooling or nothing.
No.
You're learning how to maintain this and operate it versus, I guess they would just learn how to release these weapons or maintain them and release them. Yeah. So total different field. We all just think nuclear, and a lot of times you think nuclear bomb, right?
Right.
But it's like no. This is propulsion. This is what literally
drives
allows these aircraft carriers and submarines. Mm-hmm. Now we didn't even talk about that. Is that an option? Submarine?
That is an option. That is not an option for me. I'm all right. I'll take the aircraft carrier.
You're like, keep me above the water. I don't want to be below it.
It is an option. They'll give you another $60,000. I think they offer me.
Are you kidding me?
To go submarine, yeah.
So you can stack up some money in the U.S. Navy, guys. I hope y'all are listening. You can stack some cash up in the U.S. Navy in this field. What was the minimum ASVAB required for this? Did they tell you?
I don't know the minimum ASVAB. It's a combination of what scores you scored in each field. So my mechanical and my math and everything.
Yeah.
I've always been better at math, and then mechanics, obviously.
Right.
Those are the most important too. So
Right.
me doing well in those kind of got me
Yeah.
up there. I think if you get a 70 something, if those two are high,
Right.
the higher of the other options, I think you'll be all right to go.
Mm-hmm.
You'd still have to take the nuclear test and make sure you're good at that, and that's just a insanely hard math test.
Just another math test. Yeah. Yeah. So because I think in the ASVAB, and I don't remember, it's been years ago, but I think there's a slice of it called GT score, which is general technical. And that's where all your mechanical, all your technical, all that is found in that.
Right.
And so your GT score has to be high.
Right.
To go into, even though you might have a high score overall, they want to see that GT score
Right.
high.
But if you score a 90, I think, or above, somewhere in there, you get alpha qualified. You don't have to take that nuclear test.
Really?
So yeah, if you score real high.
Like if you're just a trigonometry genius, they're like, whatever, come on, right? And I know for officer in the military, in the Army, I think officer, like GT has to be 70 or above, saying that, so because they want the officers to have some common sense,
Right.
when it comes to mechanical and technical stuff. Like you can't be this dunce in that area, and you're really good. You know, you're like
Book smart.
you're like an English professor, but you can't figure out how to make an M60 machine gun work, or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm dating myself with the M60 reference. Yeah, guys, I know the U.S. Army hasn't used them since the 80s. So that realm's got to be high. Well, like Mitch, so our son, my son, he scored like a 77 overall, but GT was not high for him. But his MOS didn't require a high GT score.
Right.
Right. His actually required a high English, and I think literally it had to be high English and typing. Like he had to pass a typing test, right, to be in a chaplain's corps.
Okay.
And not that he did terrible in GT. It just was not his strong suit, right? He doesn't really do mechanics. He doesn't really do that stuff. And so had he wanted to go into an MOS that required that, he wouldn't have been able to qualify for certain MOSs.
Right.
Yeah. So I think generally we hear ASVAB score, and we look at this overall score, forgetting that it's actually several slices of a pie.
Right. There's a lot of slices to it.
Yeah. That they're looking at, like what makes you up, and what really is your core strengths, and they try to plug you into that. And I think generally they do a good job of that.
I think so too.
The military really is able to pigeonhole where your strengths are. Like for me, because my GT score was off the charts. I think my ASVAB was pretty good overall, but my GT was high because, like you, I love mechanics, right? And I wanted to be a combat soldier. It's like I wanted to be infantry and cavalry scout, or like just something crazy like recon. You know what I mean? I'm like I was an idiot. So and my recruiter's like, dude, he said Apache, or I think at the time it was Cobra mechanic. He said we can make you an aircraft mechanic, right? And he's trying to give me all these mechanical jobs because my mechanic score was off the charts.
Right.
And like I wasn't smart as you, son. I mean, I was like, I should have been thinking for my future. But all I was thinking is I want to shoot the biggest guns the Army had,
right,
and and run stuff over. I want to break stuff and shoot stuff. And this recruiter, to his credit, was saying to me, these are where your scores are strong at.
Right.
And we've got some good jobs for you here to help your future out. Yeah. And I'm like, drooling, drool come out of my mouth. So I commend you for being smart enough to listen to the recruiter, have some idea what you want to do with your future, right. And I know your future is bright. Yeah. So, all right, do me a favor. Let's wrap this up with this. There's a lot of 15-year-olds out there right now that really don't, they don't understand that 18, 19 is coming quick. When you're 15, you don't realize how far. I mean, you didn't realize just 4 years ago, how quick you were going to get here, right? You just don't realize it. But it comes fast, doesn't it? And the next thing you know, you're an adult, and you're doing, oh, dude, I got to do adult stuff, right? I got to look for my future. So look at the camera there and talk to 15-year-old Billy and give him some advice. Give 15-year-old Billy some advice in hindsight now of what he should do to get ready for his future.
Focus on yourself. That's all I can say is focus on yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. Do it for you. That's the biggest thing I could tell anybody is just do it for you. All you have is you. It's the best you can do.
So expand on that. What's some of the things that you think are distracting those 15-year-olds that are keeping them from getting them focused on what's right?
Friends that don't want anything more for their life, females, just anything. Just focus on
So relationships.
Yeah.
Distraction at that age.
Distractions.
At that age, that's a distraction.
That's all it is.
You're not ready, right? Because you got to get your life going here,
right?
Right. So relationships, intimate relationships, distraction. What else was some of the distractions for a 15-year-old?
I don't know. What else had distracted me? I worked a lot when I was 15. About when I started working. I mean, I was doing 56 hours a week in my job during the summer and working every day after school.
So what are some of the things you think, looking back, what's some things that they can focus on at 15 to start getting them ready for their future?
I'd say school, but that'd be contradicting myself. I didn't focus on school in high school, so I don't know. I think your own path will make its own way, but you definitely need to focus on yourself and just make sure you're doing everything to better yourself. Don't dig yourself a hole.
So kind of spiritual, mental, physical, focus on developing yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah. Give yourself some time to grow up a little bit.
Right. Stop using your parents for as much. Stop relying on people. Rely on yourself. Make it to where you can count on yourself and be fine.
Yeah. Learn to make a way.
Right.
And for your future. Yeah. All right, y'all heard it right here. William Smith, Billy Bernard Smith, heading to boot camp in 15 hours now.
Probably.
In 15 hours, heading off to Naval Boot Camp. We're proud of you. Looking forward to hearing the good things to come. Yeah.
Thank you.
God bless y'all. Thanks for joining us on Straight to the Heart with Eric Earhart.